The last ice age peaked about 20,000 years ago, and is sometimes called the last glacial maximum, or last ice age. During this time, ice sheets as thick as 4 kilometers covered large parts of North America, Europe, and Asia. Global temperatures were 8 to 10 degrees Celsius colder than they are today. You'd have to go pretty far south to find temperatures like those of a mild summer in North Carolina. So what caused this extreme climate, and what effects did it have on the geography, flora, and fauna in human life? Let's investigate. Several factors combined to cause the ice age. One was Milankovitch cycles, which are changes in Earth's orbit, tilt and wobble that affects how much solar radiation reaches the Earth's surface, especially at higher latitudes. Lower radiation means lower temperatures, but other factors were also at play, such as decreased volcanic activity, which released fewer greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Also, there were lower concentrations of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere than there are today, which allowed more of the sun's energy to escape back into space. Additionally, ocean currents that distribute heat around the globe were disrupted, and the ice sheets themselves had an albedo effect, meaning that they reflected more sunlight than darker surfaces like forests and oceans, which absorbed more solar radiation and re-emitted as heat. All these factors combined to create frigid conditions that lasted for tens of thousands of years. During the Ice Age, glaciers formed and continental ice sheets, hundreds of meters thick, spread across North America, Europe, and Asia. As the ice moved, it reshaped the continents, creating new landforms such as the Great Lakes and Yosemite Valley. It also carved out huge valleys and basins. And because so much water was locked up in ice, global sea levels were about 120 meters lower than today. This exposed stretches of land that connected continents. For example, the Bering Land Bridge between Siberia and Alaska emerged, allowing humans to migrate into the Americas. The Ice Age megafauna was dominated by herbivores such as woolly mammoths, whose thick fur and body fat helped them survive the cold. They were often hunted by large carnivores like saber-toothed cats and giant short-faced bears. Giant sloths also roamed the earth during this time. Plants adapted to the tundra and other cold environments, such as those found in the boreal forests and mountainous regions. However, there were also patches of warmer land, known as glacial refugia, where more diverse plants and animals could be found. Early humans had to adapt to the extreme conditions of the Ice Age. They used fire for warmth and light, wore clothing made from animal skins, and developed tools for hunting and shelter building. Humans during the Ice Age were mostly nomadic hunter-gatherers who followed herds of animals to hunt them and gathered wild plants for food. Despite the harsh conditions, humans created cave art and other symbolic objects like jewelry, indicating a complex culture. Famous examples include the Lascaux paintings in France, which depict animals and scenes from the Ice Age. As the climate warmed, glaciers retreated and sea levels rose, exposing new land areas and inundating others. This process created new habitats and environments that allowed for the development of agriculture and eventually civilizations. So, could another Ice Age happen? Well, naturally, yes. Earth has been cycling through ice ages every 100,000 years or so for millions of years. However, current anthropogenic climate change is delaying our planet's next glacial period, which should have begun around 15,000 years ago. Instead, human activity is actually preventing this cooling by releasing too many greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. So while another Ice Age is inevitable, it won't happen anytime soon. The last Ice Age was a time of great environmental and ecological change, but it also left behind a legacy that continues to shape our world today, from the fjords of Norway to the Great Lakes of the United States. It's a reminder that our planet is always changing, and that we can learn a lot from the past as we face the challenges of the future. Thanks for watching. Hey there, welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the Ice Age, specifically the last Ice Age. So, if you have any questions or topics you'd like to see me cover in the future, please let me know. And without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, what actually is the Ice Age? The last Ice Age, also known as the last glacial maximum, was the most recent period of Earth's history when vast expanses of the planet were covered by thick ice sheets. This event peaked around 20,000 years ago and marked the beginning of the Pleistocene epoch. During this time, ice sheets covered large parts of North America, Europe, and Asia. It is estimated that these ice sheets reached thicknesses of up to 4 kilometers and extended as far south as the mid-latitudes of Europe, Asia, and North America. Overall, it's believed that around 30% of Earth's surface was covered in ice during the peak of the last Ice Age. Global temperatures were about 8 to 10 degrees Celsius colder than they are today. Now, why did the Ice Age happen? One of the main theories is the so-called Milankovitch cycles. These are variations in Earth's orbit, tilt, and wobble that affect the amount of solar radiation that reaches the planet's surface. During the Ice Age, a combination of factors led to decreased solar radiation at higher latitudes, which resulted in colder temperatures and the formation of ice sheets. One theory suggests that volcanic activity released large amounts of ash and sulfate aerosols into the atmosphere, which reflected and scattered sunlight away from Earth's surface. Others propose that lower concentrations of greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, allowed more heat to escape from the planet's surface, leading to cooling. Some researchers also believe that disruptions in ocean currents, particularly the weakening of the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation, played a role in the onset of the Ice Age by altering heat distribution and precipitation patterns. In addition, the presence of ice sheets themselves amplified the cooling effect through a process known as the albedo effect. As ice reflects more sunlight than darker surfaces, such as soil or water, the expansion of ice sheets led to greater reflection of solar radiation back into space, further reducing temperatures and contributing to the maintenance of the glacial conditions. During the Ice Age, Earth's geography was significantly impacted by the formation and movement of massive glaciers. Over millions of years, these glaciers carved out valleys, basins, and lakes as they moved across the landscape, depositing vast amounts of rock, soil, and other materials. For example, the Great Lakes in North America were formed by glacial carving and deposition. Similarly, the iconic Valley of Yosemite in the United States was sculpted by glaciers. The weight of the ice sheets also caused the land to sink in some areas, creating depressions that became filled with water. This process led to the formation of lakes, such as Lake Agassiz in what is now the Midwestern United States. Additionally, the movement of glaciers caused the formation of moraines, which are accumulations of rocks and debris that served as temporary habitats for plants and animals. These glacial landforms not only shaped the physical landscape, but also influenced the distribution and evolution of species during the Ice Age. The Ice Age was a time when Earth's flora and fauna underwent significant changes due to the drastic shift in climate and the formation of glaciers. During this time, the planet was dominated by megafauna adapted to the cold, dry conditions of the tundra and other glacial environments. Large mammals such as woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and giant sloths roamed across the continents. These iconic creatures evolved over time in response to the changing environment and developed adaptations such as thick fur, large body size, and specialized diets. Plants during the Ice Age were primarily found in high latitudes and altitudes where conditions were suitable for their growth. Species such as mosses, lichens, and dwarf shrubs were well adapted to the cold, dry climate. However, despite the harsh conditions, biodiversity still flourished in glacial refugia, which were areas that remained relatively warm compared to surrounding regions. These refugia acted as havens for plant and animal species, allowing them to survive and thrive during the glacial period. Humans during the Ice Age lived in small, nomadic groups and relied on hunting and gathering for sustenance. They were well adapted to the extreme conditions and had developed technologies such as fire, clothing, and tools that allowed them to survive in cold environments. Cave art and other forms of symbolic culture also emerged during this time, providing insights into the cognitive abilities and social customs of early humans. For example, the Lascaux paintings in France depict a variety of animals and scenes from the daily lives of prehistoric humans. The Ice Age also witnessed the migration of human populations across continents, as exposed land bridges connected different regions. These migrations led to the spread of people and the exchange of cultural practices and genetic material. For example, humans migrated from Africa into Europe and Asia, where they encountered and sometimes interbred with other hominid species such as Neanderthals. Overall, humans demonstrated remarkable adaptability and ingenuity during the Ice Age, developing strategies and innovations that allowed them to flourish in diverse environments. The Ice Age began to end around 12,000 years ago, marking the transition to the Holocene epoch, a period characterized by warmer temperatures and the melting of glaciers. As temperatures rose, the ice sheets that had covered large parts of the planet began to retreat, leading to rising sea levels. It is estimated that sea levels rose by about 120 meters during the deglaciation period, inundating areas that had been exposed during the last ice age. This rising sea level also caused coastal flooding, reshaping coastlines and altering marine habitats. The climate during the late Ice Age and the beginning of the Holocene was relatively unstable, with fluctuations in temperature and precipitation, which may have influenced the behavior and migration patterns of both humans and animals. However, as the planet gradually warmed and stabilized, it set the stage for the development of agriculture and the rise of civilizations in various parts of the world. The legacy of the Ice Age is profound and far-reaching, extending beyond its dramatic climate and environmental impacts. First of all, the Ice Age left behind a lasting imprint on Earth's geography, shaping the landscapes we see today. Fjords, glacial lakes, and valleys are just a few examples of the landforms that were created or modified during this time. The movement of glaciers also led to the deposition of vast amounts of soil and the creation of freshwater reservoirs, which have played a crucial role in supporting life in human settlements. Furthermore, the Ice Age had a significant impact on the evolution of life on Earth. During this time, glaciers acted as agents of change, driving species to extinction, while also creating opportunities for new life forms to emerge. The key, the isolation and divergence of populations during glacial periods, led to the formation of distinct species and subspecies. For example, the reemergence of warmer temperatures at the end of the Ice Age allowed for the expansion of plant and animal species into new territories. Humans as well have been shaped by the Ice Age, not only through the challenges and adaptations it presented, but also through its influence on our cultural evolution. The scarcity of resources and the need for cooperation and social organization likely contributed to the development of complex human societies. Additionally, the Ice Age provided a canvas for some of the most iconic cave art and prehistoric artifacts, showcasing the creativity and ingenuity of early humans. For instance, the discovery of cave paintings in places like Lascaux, France, and Altamira, Spain, has revealed the artistic and symbolic thought processes of our ancestors during this time. Finally, the Ice Age played a pivotal role in the migration patterns of humans and other species, connecting and separating populations across continents. The melting of ice sheets and the formation of land bridges facilitated the spread of people and the exchange of genetic material, contributing to the genetic diversity we see today. But could another Ice Age happen? Well, the answer is yes. Earth naturally follows a cycle of ice ages, approximately every 100,000 years. We are currently experiencing an interglacial period within this cycle. However, the good news is that the next glacial period should start in approximately 60,000 years. While there is no immediate danger of a new ice age. It's important to note that human-induced climate change can have a significant impact on local and regional climates, potentially disrupting delicate ecosystems and affecting human populations. By understanding the causes and consequences of ice ages, we can gain insight into the complex interactions that shape our planet's climate system and better predict and manage the challenges posed by future climate change. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you have any thoughts, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.